to GGW.
Welcome back.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Hey.
know.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I am proud of us, Claire Bear.
I'm proud of us too. Technology, let's just say, is not on our side, but we're showing up, so we hope you're still here with us.
Yeah, we just tried to record one of these and Claire's computer crashed, and my computer has been the issue the past couple episodes because it's ratchet 10-year-old Sony from my senior year of high school, and it literally sounds like it's about to take off. So in the last episode, that like noise, I was like, oh, that was my computer. So my boyfriend was nice enough to let me borrow his computer, but now Claire's computer crashed. So I mean, what the fuck?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, hope that it works. We're still working on this.
Oh.
Anywho,
Yeah.
to talk about self-love.
Self-love and the importance of it.
But for me, self-love is just like, I had a deep-rooted belief that self-love was selfish. And it took me work to like change my belief about that and know that self-love is necessary. And it really is, because it sounds cliche, but all cliches like hold truth in them. That's why they stick around. But in order to give, like, you have to fill your cup first so you can give, right? And you cannot give to other people what you don't have for yourself. So I could not give love to somebody if I didn't first love myself.
Yeah.
And it's still such a new concept to me, but I'm working every day to change my subconscious belief about that. So I have like a whiteboard in my room, and I read like my little things every morning, and one thing that is on the bullet point is I love myself fully, and I put myself first, and I take care of myself so that I can help the most people. Yeah. And then just one other thing, like once I started to foster love for myself, everything in my life changed for the positive. So the people I surrounded myself with, like I was able to let go of negative people in my life. I used to kind of go for very much so the wrong guys, and now I'm in a very true loving relationship. I've never been in real love before, but
Go Brian. Woo-hoo.
The best. But if I didn't fully love myself, I would probably still be caught in these like unhealthy relationships where it's about like games and trying to win their approval. But now that I fully love myself, I'm able to then receive unconditional love from somebody. And it's amazing. But I know that Claire and I have both worked very hard on this self-awareness, self-love journey, and we feel so much more fulfilled and at peace with ourselves. So that's why we're sharing this.
Yeah. And Mani, I feel like you have a recent example of self-love that you should explain.
So in order to love yourself, you have to be self-aware too. You have to be in tune with your emotions, your body, and your inner world. Nobody is here by accident. It's just, that's not what I believe. But life can be so messy, and people can have a hard time trusting themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's where they get led astray. And for the longest time, I had a hard time trusting myself. And I would get these little gut feelings or like intuition that would tell me to do something, and I would listen to the external people in my life because I trusted my parents more about what I should be doing, or my friends, or whoever that was around me. Like I trusted their opinion more than mine, and that is where you can get into feeling unhappy and unsatisfied. So at first you have to become self-aware and get in tune with your intuition and trust it and listen to it, because that it's there for a reason, and it's guiding you to your real purpose, and that is what will bring you fulfillment. So for me, I always wanted to help people. I thought that was going to be through ER nursing. So I was an ER nurse for the past 5 years. 4 of it was in Wisconsin, and then a year ago I moved to California to do travel nursing. Back when I was in Wisconsin a year ago, I was getting this feeling like, okay, this doesn't feel right anymore. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something else with my life. And I kind of just like shoved it down, and I was like, well, maybe it's just the Wisconsin winters that I'm sick of and I need a change of scenery. So I went to California to do travel nursing, bounced around a couple of hospitals here, and it just like still is not sitting right with me. So I had an ER shift Sunday, and I kind of went into it thinking, like, I just had this gut feeling like this is going to be my last shift as an ER nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's like kind of scary. Like, what's going on?
Whoa, yeah.
That's a big stuff. Like, settle down. Like, you're talking crazy.
Uh-huh.
And so I just felt like kind of uneasy the night before and like anxious before going in my shift, which honestly was my normal. Like, I always get a little anxious before going in. I just like said a little prayer, and I was like, okay, if ER nursing is not for me anymore, I pray that you like give me a sign, because I just feel like this is off. And I went into my shift, and I just felt so anxious, so stressed the entire time. I just got like shit on, like a code stroke, cold blue, like somebody's heart stop. I was with this ICU patient like one-on-one for like 10 plus hours. It was just like a chaotic day. I didn't feel happy about it at all. And then just another funny thing that was like the universe clear sign for me to like get the fuck out of the ER was I had like a lucky bracelet that I would wear to work, and it had different stones on it, and then these lava rocks that I could douse like essential oils on it. And I would always like douse lavender on that to like try to keep me a little bit peaceful during my shift.
Yeah.
And I was with this ICU patient and already have such a stressful day. And I go like this to like take the bracelet off, and it just shatters everywhere. It needs everywhere. And I was like,
you're just like, fuck me.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, this is it. But yeah, after that shift, I was just like so in tune with how that work actually made me feel. And for so long, I thought that since I was helping people, it was okay that I could sacrifice my own happiness because I was helping people. Like it doesn't matter about me. But the more that I learned, it should be a win-win. Like, success for me, and everybody has a different definition of success, but for me, it's the number of days on earth that I'm happy. And if I'm in a job that doesn't make me happy, it doesn't matter if it is helping other people. Like, there's a different route for me to take. And so I did end up resigning at the ER just because I knew that it was not my purpose anymore. Like, I served my time. It definitely was my purpose up until recently, but
I'm so proud of you, Mon.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just an act of self-love for me to then trust that gut feeling that I had, listen to my intuition, and love myself enough to know that there is going to be a job out there for me that not only helps other people, but also helps me and it's fulfilling to me. And I truly believe that that's Girls Gone Woke. Like, I know that Claire and I have lived such unconscious lives, and we've done so much work, and it has helped us so much that I just feel, and I know Claire does too, that we need to share it because it's like so eye-opening. I'm so much happier. I know you are too. And it's truly like the universe has your back when you wake up to yourself and you listen to your gut, because you're here for a reason, and you just have to trust that guidance that you've always been getting.
Yeah, right. Because too, for me, a lot of us, our internal dialogue can be so debilitating. There can be so much chatter that it makes you doubt yourself. And like Monica, she just took the plunge when it didn't feel right anymore. I feel like people would be a much happier place if they just listened to their intuition from the start. But yeah, a lot of people are they're nervous to make the change, but the anticipation of it is so much worse than when you actually make that change. There's that quote, what's coming will come and you'll meet it when it does type of thing. Once you take the leap, you'll be able to handle it once you get there.
Yeah, it is scary though, because you're literally stepping into the unknown. Telling Claire, like, for me, I know now in my heart that my new purpose is Girls Gone Woke, because it's something that will help a lot of people in a more preventative way, and it is also fulfilling to me. But I always say, like, let go, let God, and trust the universe to guide you. But if I were to hold on to this, because the ER job was definitely like a safety net for me, a stable income, and anywhere I would move in the United States, like, I could get an ER job in a week. If I were to wait until Girls Gone Woke produces like income for us to then let go of my ER job, that would be me not really fully letting go and letting God or trusting the process, because I still need that safety net. Yeah, even though it's scary, I had to let it go because I do trust the process. And like, I don't know what's to come next, but I know that what's more scary to me is getting caught in a job that I don't like and ending up unhappy and unfulfilled. Like
Yeah.
that is what should be scary to you.
Yeah. And amen to that. I think too,
Amen.
let's normalize having multiple purposes. I mean, Eckhart Tolle talks about this too. A lot of people have multiple purposes throughout their life.
Yeah.
And it's scary, like Monica said, because her identity was attached to that. But it's also okay to have a new purpose. And it's also kind of exciting. Like, what's better than a fresh start? I'm a firm believer that, and you follow your intuition, success will come because you'll be so excited about it. You'll be excited to get out of bed and to do your best.
Yeah, but I was so scared to let go of ER nursing because my identity was attached to it. And my ego also loved being able to say that I was an ER nurse because it gave me a feeling of importance. And people would ask me, like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I'd be like, oh, I'm an ER nurse. And every single time they would be like, wow, that's so amazing. Like, I don't know how you do that. Like, I could never do that. And my ego liked that. But I didn't actually like my work. So it was just tough to let go of because of my ego and because, like, who am I without being an ER nurse? It's just like a scary thing. Mm-hmm. But I know, like, you are not what you do. You're so much deeper than that. Yeah. And it's normal to feel scared making a big change, but it's also just something that you need to do if you want your life to change. And if you want to be more happy, you have to listen to those feelings.
Yep, because you'll never find happiness if you never make a change in your life. Things will always kind of be like this if you never take any chances. And for me, I'm 27 years old. I still feel like I'm pretty young. But throughout my 27 years, I found that I've been the most happy when I have taken the risk and have tried something new.
Just trusting yourself, because for me, this was a solo, like, I didn't tell anybody that Claire, you're the first person that I've told that I'm, like, resigning from the ER. I haven't told my family or anything. But that is because, like, it's very hard to trust yourself with big decisions. Mm-hmm. And for me, at least, I'm like, ooh, is this, like, right for me to do? I really have to, like, get still and listen to that, because any outside, and I typically don't tell anybody until I've made a decision, because any outside force, like, if I would tell this to my mom or even my boyfriend, they'd be like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, you've worked so hard, and, like, you're so good at it. Like, you're such a good ER nurse. Why would you want to do that? Mm-hmm. And then I would second guess myself, be like, oh my gosh, maybe I should stay for a little bit. I don't know if I'm probably making the wrong decision. But it's just so important to get still and, like, just trust your gut, like, trust yourself. Mm-hmm. Those feelings that you're having are there for a reason, and it's the universe, like, trying to guide you in the right direction. You should not be in a job that you are anxious and stressed and uncomfortable in. Then that's not your real purpose. It doesn't matter how good you are at it. Like, you can be good at a lot of things. You could be good at taking freaking heroin, but it doesn't mean that that's what you're supposed to do.
I know. Right.
Yeah. And so it's just becoming still and learning yourself and really just trusting you, because you are really the only one that knows and can make you happy.
Yeah. And I so agree with all of that. Just looking back on my life, I had such a different idea of what success would mean to me at the age of 27. I literally thought, like, I'd go to college, I'd get a really stable job. At this point, I'd have tons of money in my savings. But yeah, life has taken such crazy up and down turns for me. And I think it's okay. I mean, I feel like when you get comfortable with change, that you also kind of find confidence in that, because you realize that you can handle whatever is thrown your way with those changes that come. So for me, I graduated college with a degree in graphic design and journalism and marketing, but I just wasn't quite sure what route I wanted to take, but I knew I was kind of at that point. I had lived in Milwaukee for 5 years and I was just ready for something new. So I moved to Minneapolis and got my first job out of school. Stayed in it for a couple years, but like Monica said, that my intuition, my gut feeling, it just, I knew it wasn't right for me. It was so business minded, and I feel like I just kind of recharge when I get to create things. I am very visual, and crunching numbers just wasn't for me. And so I just quit that, not really knowing what would come next for me. But still, like Monica said, my ego was attached to being this account coordinator. I loved saying I worked for this company, and I got to dress up most days, and I would just like go into work feeling, I don't know, kind of like a badass. And then suddenly I was having these panic attacks, like weird dreams, stomach issues from stress, and that's when I knew it's time. So I took the leap, literally not knowing what I would do next. I applied for jobs out in Colorado. I applied for jobs all over the place and ended up nannying. And it was only supposed to be for a summer. I just fell in love with the kids. And on the side, I was doing other contract work. But my ego did take a hit, which is so sad because I actually felt happy. But when people would ask me what I did, I would quickly say, oh, I do this like contract job and then nanny on the side. But I'm like,
Yeah.
why? Why do I feel that way? I'm so happy. I'm loving what I'm doing. But yeah, it was just like an ego hit for me because I never envisioned myself after college doing that. So I feel like that's really relatable to you, Moni. And then, oh, that brings us to today. And I don't know, I'm just learning to say yes to things. I've always been really interested in interior design. My mom would get so mad at me when I'd come home for the holidays and I'd be rearranging all the shelves and staging them. Oh, she'd be so upset. But it was always in me, so I just said yes to this job. I was terrified, absolutely terrified. But it's ending up being so great because it's just another little like thing in my hat where it's another experience. It's kind of leading me to whatever I have next. So I just feel like normalizing, being okay with change as it comes, and not solely tying your whole being and soul to one thing is really healthy. And I think it's something that a lot of people need to do. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if it like looks good on paper,
Yeah.
what you do. If you're not happy, then it's not worth it.
That's so true. And when we talk about, like, when I said everybody on this planet has a purpose,
Yeah.
it's not one purpose. And that is where Claire and I are talking about, like, get comfortable with change, because your purpose definitely can change in life. Like when you were a kid, your purpose was to be a child and be a good daughter or son. When you're in school, your purpose is to be a student. Then my purpose was to be an ER nurse. Now it's going to be teaching Girls Gone Woke. But it's something that can change in time, and it's just following your intuition and having that lead you, because people that get unhappy are ones that get stuck in a job and then they're just like wishing away their life until retirement. It's just unfulfilling. Why would you ever, I don't know how many hours that you spend your life working, but why would you ever want to waste those making you feel like shit?
Right.
Like, and it's scary. It is, but it's scarier to live a life like that.